Alrighty, guys, a very warm welcome to episode number 4 of Hands and Heels. Paul Sebastiani, Vince Loccisano, AD's missing. He's busy with work because it's Cox Plate weekend, Vince. It's Cox
Where
Plate
are you,
weekend.
AD? Come on, man. This
In
was the
AD.
biggest weekend in racing, according to him last week.
I was spewing because I wanted to get his insight into this weekend after we had,
Yep.
we had a fat one last week. It was bloody enormous. You tipped the Caulfield
Wasn't
Cup winner.
Yep, I
AD
did.
tipped Brucey Dool. I found Arkansas Kid. It was just one of those weekends where it all
Yep.
turned into gold. So
I told
hopefully,
all the Carlton supporters they should be on dual.
good were they? I hope they were.
Yeah, not dual, dual.
Not doing. So no, that
And
was
just to
a
top
very,
it off, mate, we
very
tipped the winner of the Geelong Pacing Cup. You and I
yes,
as
Mac
well.
Bam.
So we had a big weekend.
We did.
Hopefully the punters got on and took our lead.
Yes, exactly right. And again, well done to you with tipping the winner of the feature race last weekend. So
I like
hopefully
feature races, Paul.
you do. You're a big
I've
feature
got gold
race
trip
fan.
in the Turnbull without a fight in the Caulfield Cup. Hopefully I can keep this going, but I know the bubble's going to burst sooner or later.
You never know. You never know. As the great, what did he call his father's name? He rode the Remus, Greg Hall.
Yes.
And he and the Williams clan said, we don't do suburbs, we do cities. So
that's it. Yes.
You're taking that vernacular. That's saying what.
Something
For those
like
that don't know, I've got the Winx beanie on this week for obvious reasons.
I haven't got a Winx beanie.
What have you got?
Yeah, I've got the Fight MND beanie. If you want me to put that on here,
I'll put that on if you want.
Haven't got much hair left. Might as well do this.
Hopefully our tips aren't that cold this weekend.
You got to put it in the middle.
Hopefully the tips and mail are not cold this weekend. Hopefully it's as hot as it has been for the first 3 weeks.
I'll tell you what, I look terrible with a beanie on. I think I'll replace
Go
it.
to cap.
The Carlton cap looks a lot better.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Cox Plate weekend. We'll quickly zip through the 2 cards for Friday for tonight. And for tomorrow, Cox Plate Day, because the Manikato has been shifted to the Saturday now. So they'll race back-to-back on the Saturday, but we've got the Gold
Cup.
What's
the thinking behind that, Paul? Do you know why they've shifted the Gold Cup to the Friday?
It's a strange one because the Gold Cup usually landed on the Saturday and the Manikato usually landed on the Friday. But because of, I don't know if you remember last year, there was a massive lightning.
They shifted it to the Saturday.
Yeah, there was lightning and storm, and it spooked the horses on the Friday night, and they had to shift the Manikato to the last race on the Saturday after Cox Plate, and I think they've just kept it there. So,
you know what I heard? I heard it was such a betting turnover boom for them that they decided to keep the Manikato on the Saturday and shift the Moonee Valley Gold Cup to the Friday night instead. Yep. It's probably a good move.
Yeah, well, it could very well be. The Friday night's going to be pretty busy anyway. People are finishing off work, so they've got DJs. They've got Will Sparks there, who's a massive DJ post-race, so that's going to be interesting. I'll be covering the race for SEN. I'll be covering Friday night races for SEN tonight, which will be good fun.
Fantastic.
So tune into that. Tune into this.
We'll do.
There's plenty of racing to cover. What have we got to cover from a harness perspective as well?
Well, we've got a massive weekend in both codes, really.
Yes, we do. Yep.
Not only have we got the 2 Moonee Valley meetings for the thoroughbreds, but we're going to just cover the main feature races, and there's probably a dozen of them across 4 or 5 different venues, including Gloucester Park tonight. We'll just cover the one feature race, the JP Stratton Cup, which is a big Group 2 race.
Very keen on one here, Vince. I'm very keen on one. I reckon it might be the same one. We'll find out soon.
We'll find out soon. Melton tomorrow night on Saturday night. There's probably 3 races we could do there, but we might just leave it to 1 or 2. Globe Derby. This is the biggest race of the year in South Australia. The South Australian Pacing Cup, along with the Trotters Cup and the SA Derby as well. Then on Sunday, there's a massive meeting at Maryborough, which, of course, is their annual Redwood Day. So we've got the Redwood Classic, which is race 6, as well as the Victoria Trotters Derby, race 8 there on Sunday at Maryborough. And look, there's another massive meeting at Menangle on Sunday as well. We're not going to go there because we just don't think we'll have time. But we will quickly look at the the Kaikoura meeting at New Zealand on Monday, one of my favourite meetings of the year. Yeah. This is a wonderful track, and it really is a bit of a build-up for the New Zealand Trotting Cup, which is coming up in a couple of weeks after that. So there'll be some really good horses going around, especially in the Kaikoura Cup and the South Bay Trotters Cup as well there at Kaikoura on Monday. So we'll try and get through all of that.
Yes, we shall indeed. All right, let's not fluff around anymore. Let's get into Moonee Valley. We'll start with the Friday night card, which is actually not a bad little card. Usually these Friday nights can be fraught with danger, but I've actually got I've got a few that I like here tonight, and it comes up immediately. Race number 1, number 3, Croatian Belle. She goes very well at this course, and I wouldn't be too worried about her. Well, last start failure. She was beaten just under 4 lengths by horses like Inhibitions and Oz Empress, and she's had a freshen up since that. She's had jump outs, and I think she's a great bet. I like 1,200 back to 1,000. I like Mark Zara booked. I was astonished at the price. She's $9.50. So she's
great each way bet.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I just thought so. There's these horses up the front here, Salui and Reveline, number 2 and number 8, who could potentially take each other on. And then you've got speed from the 4 in Esecutore. So I reckon they might set it up nicely for the 3. So Croatian Belle for me in the first, Vince.
Yes, so, I agree with you. I agree with you. In fact, I had it circled. Number 3 is an each way special, really.
Yep. Well, there you go.
I noticed even Matty Hill has tipped this horse.
Oh, has he really?
Mm.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was. I'm a fan of what she's done in her career to date, and I like the freshen up, and I like back to 1,000. So I think she'll run well. I think she'll run very well. 950 is definitely worth.
Get on now. I reckon it'll shorten up.
Yep. Number 2. This is always a great race. The Vobis Gold Star. They race this every Friday night before Cox Plate over 1,500 meters. So you have to be Victorian bred. Vobis Gold nominated. All these horses are. Simple bet for me here. Number 2, Beltoro gets the weight advantage on number 4, I'm a Shelby, who pulled up abruptly last start. I'm a Shelby started shorter than the 2, but the 2's had a run since and gets the weight swing on number 4, I'm a Shelby. So that's the one I wanted to be with here, Vince. Number 2, chance for the bottom to run well. Delicious Tycoon, but it's too short for me. Too short.
I like the 3, to be honest. Ungawa as well.
Yep.
Happen to know the Corstons.
Yes.
I think this horse is just building up to a win. It's been in the placings a lot in the last 5 runs or so. But,
it's definitely
just bursting to break through, and I reckon tonight might be the night.
Okay, that's all right. There you go. Ungawa, race 2, number 3. I think I referred to it as a money muncher last week. So I think nothing's going to change. But it does look well set up to run somewhere near its best in this race. Drawn nicely, and I think it finds the right race. So no knock for me, just the price. Number 2 for me in that race is worth a bet. Race number 3, I'm not even going to worry about, Vince, unless you like something here. I didn't mind Power Missile, number 8, and number 7. I'd be looking for something outside of the favourite here, Port Albert. 7 and 8, very, very, very small plays for me on Jolton Joe and Power Missile, who gets the blinkers for the first time.
Okay, that's interesting. Look, I was a little bit hesitant too with this race, and the favourite's $3.10. No value there, but I didn't mind the 6, Sasquala.
Okay, yeah.
Second, first run back from a spell.
Yes.
Linda Meach.
Yep.
Simon Wild. I think it's going to be in it right up to its eyeballs.
Yeah,
so
it's a likeable horse, lightly raced.
Drawn well too. In 2.
It's drawn well. It was an odds-on pop first up and got rolled. So there's probably a bit more to come with that.
I just think it needed the run.
Yeah, I was 7 and 8 for mine. Those are the ones I wanted to be with, if anything. But a very, very low confidence race.
Yep.
Race number 4 is much the same. We've got an odds-on pop in Frilled. I think Fishin can be the main danger to the favourite here, Vince. Race 4, number 5, had to carry too big of a weight first up, had to carry 62 kilos from barrier 7 of 7, and they conceded ground on a track where you didn't want to concede ground. And the horse that dominated up front was a horse called Scuderia. So Tommy Carberry went straight to the front and absolutely bolted in, and Cavallo Rampante ran second. Unluckily, so
what is it with all these Italian names at these?
Mate, they're coming out everywhere. It's ridiculous.
The Italians are taking over.
Yeah, we are. 3 and 5 for me. Rattle and Bang and Fishing. So I'm going to take on the fave just from a price perspective. It's a leader up in grade 2, which I'm just a little bit skeptical of. Fishing gets weight relief. Should be fitter as well. Loves a track and distance. Rattle and Bang actually. She won a very, very similar race in this grade back in November last year, and she was $5 that day. So we're getting $6 this time. So I was 2 and 6 in race number 4. 2 and 5 in race number 4.
Okay. Well, look, I thought the 6's form is impeccable, but at the odds, it's just not a proposition. I thought. It'd be interesting to see how the 1 goes back from a spell, because it won three starts in a row before it went out for a spell. And look, it's carrying enough weight, but I noticed that Zach Spain and Phil Stokes had a success during the week with the Geelong Cup.
Yes, they did. The old boy, a 10-year-old. Yeah, it was about 30.
So the stable's obviously going well. So I'll be watching number 1 very, very closely. But it is carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 61 kilos. The likable horse is the 6, lightly raced, undefeated, inside barrier. Damien Oliver should lead, but I was just with the 2 and
2 and 5 certainly good value. If one of those comes in, I reckon you'll be counting the cash.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. We've got one of AD's special girls coming up in the next She Dances.
Yes,
race 5, number 3.
No longer at $7 and $8. Notice?
No. You can get a 7, but you can get $1.70.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we wanted. She'll get the front here from the inside barrier, and look at $1.70. She's priced at $1.70 for a reason. She's arguably the best horse in the race. She's got the runs on the board now. She was dominant last start at Caulfield when Adrian tipped her really, really heavily, and I think she'll get the job done here. But she's not worth a bet because she's far too short.
Yep, agree.
So
like the
can't find anything to beat her either.
No, not me neither. But very short. Again, I'll be looking at how number 1 goes. Carrying a lot of weight, though. Lombardo, 60 kilos, and the next horse is at 55 and a half. So
he's an interesting runner. Bit of an enigma, that horse. Has talent, but not very consistent and hasn't really put it together for a consistent period of time.
So, again, She Dances. Let's watch her go around, and hopefully the odds-on punters can collect something on it.
Good luck. I'm sure many multi punters will be putting this in as their banker for the Friday night, which invariably gets rolled on a Friday night at Moonee Valley.
It's amazing, how that happens.
Hey, we saw it last week with those odds on pop in the first those odds on pops in the first 3 races at Caulfield.
Well, the listeners will be, or the viewers, I should say, will remember how we said last week that the first 3 races, those first 3 favourites on paper looked unbeatable, but. In the end, only 1 out of the 3 ended up coming in. So if you take the short odds, you often pay the price.
Exactly. And what do we say? Racing's done on turf, not paper. So
that's exactly right.
It's a different scenario.
I wish those damn things would run on my paper. But anyway.
It would be a lot richer. Race 6. This is always a good race, Vince. The JRA Cup Friday night at Moonee Valley. I really enjoy watching this race. Ain't No Deal Done is our favourite at 320, and it's a really tight market. We've got Sabak, we've got Shire, and we've got Forgot You all on a very similar line of betting. I was against the favourite at the price, number 5. I'm a big fan of what the 3 has done since returning, and had a really big spell since returning with these last 4 runs. So I reckon 5th up, 2,000 metres. Back in grade here. Blake Shin sticks, which is great. I think Forgot You is definitely an automatic bet. And I do like the 8 Red Sun Sensation, who was backed each way last start in the market. There was good money for it to suggest that it's actually returned really well. and now third up to 2,000, I think is ready to peak. So 3 and 8 for me. I'm taking on the 5 just at the price. I was super keen the 3 and the 8 here, Vince.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. I did have the 5 in as the one I thought would win.
Yeah, and he'll be well liked in the market. I think he'll be well backed. I actually think he'll start shorter than $3, to be honest. He's just got those likable connections and that likable form. Anthony and Sam Friedman, back-to-back wins. Billy Egan's riding really well at the moment. He's drawn nicely too.
Yep. Well, being a former estate agent, ain't no deal done until it crosses the line first.
So number 3 and number 8 for me in race 6. We come to the feature event for the night, Vince, which is the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. Now, I am on one here, but I'm not on it in this race. I'm on it for the Melbourne Cup. Number 14, Lunar Flare. This is just a pure sit down, watch
it,
and let it all unfold. There has been money for the OTI horse, Athabaskan, Damien Lane and John O'Shea. John O'Shea is just starting to get warm with his horses. And we know number 12, those connections are always looking at the Melbourne Cup in the form of Cleveland, those Williams family colours. And Cleveland needs to win this race to get a penalty in order to climb itself up the ballot to get into the Melbourne Cup. So 12 and 4 of the watchers. Vow and Declare returned super last start when he was second up. He was fantastic. And I remember you did mention him.
I did.
The story, it's just... He's an old boy. He's a former Melbourne Cup winner, and he's going along so well. His track work, I thought as well. I was there on Tuesday. His track work was really, really sound. So if you like him, go for him. But we'll get 70 to 1 last start. Now we're getting $5. So this
I was just gonna say 70s into 5.
It's an easier race, but I'm very, very keen to watch the 14, Lunar Flare. I want to see how she goes. I don't think when I say I don't think they'll be there to win, she might be a bit unlucky this race, because if she does win this race, she could get a penalty for the Cup, because she has won this race in the past and she's already into the Cup. She's a ballot exempt horse, Vince, having won the Bagot earlier this year over 2,800 metres at Flemington. So there's no... The only real reason they would maybe want to get her to win here is from a confidence point of view, to get her seeing the winning post for the first time. But no, she's going so well. She's flying. She was huge in the Turnbull behind Gold Trip last start, and this is going to be a beautiful tick-over run for her tilt at the Melbourne Cup. So not this race. Back her to win the Melbourne Cup. I think she's a huge chance to win the Cup. Well, she's $3.90 favourite according to fixed odds on TAB here, but... and interestingly, she's by a former Melbourne Cup winner, Fiorente. Yes. Which won the Melbourne Cup 10 years ago. So, it could be a bit of an omen there. Look, I was so impressed with Vow and Declare's run. Yes. To come second at the last start behind Alligator Blood. I just thought, I can't go past him here, and I'm going to put him in. I'm actually going to, and as you said, it's a weaker race. So I think if he's going to be a factor in the big one in a couple of weeks' time, well, then this is the sort of race Vow and Declare should be winning. And it's a decent length too. I mean, 2,500 metres, another 100 metres longer than the Caulfield Cup. So I've put it in to win over 14. The same horse that you mentioned there, of course, Lunar Flare. I put in 7, Future History for third, and number 4, Athabaskan, which has got the same name as a pacing horse in the harness racing over in Perth. But I can assure you, it's nowhere near as fast as this Athabaskan. I wouldn't have thought so.
It's amazing how many horses you see with the same name in both codes.
You actually do, and you see a lot of them. You see a lot of old names come to fruition through both codes too. So like I said, watch race for me. Very, very keen to watch how the 14 Lunar Flare goes, because I've got a ticket on her for the Melbourne Cup.
Okay, so, righto.
That
all the best with that.
Thank you. Race number 8. It's the final race for Friday night. I didn't really have too much of an interest in this one. I'm happy to let it go through.
Happy to have a coffee.
Yeah,
watch the last race.
Yep.
I had a race a couple of weeks ago where I suggested this particular horse if I had to have a bet. I think with the words that I used last time, and I'll use them again. If I had to have a bet, it'll be on number 7, Far Flung, Damien Lane for Danny O'Brien. It didn't do anything in that race, but I think this one's a little easier. And it is a second favourite at the moment, from what I can tell, to the 4, Sirius Black, which will probably start favourite, you would think. So I've gone for it, number 7, to beat the 4. And I thought maybe 11 and 1 would maybe battle out the placings. Number one coming back from a spell after some very consistent form before that. So, but certainly carrying enough weight to it, 59.5 kilograms. But I thought Mr. French would be interesting to see how he goes in this last race.
Yeah, one that did interest me, that, I mean, I'm not going to have a bet in the race at the moment just because the prices are a bit all over the shop. I want to see how the number 3 goes, Dinero. It's got the blinkers back on, and that intrigues me, but I don't know where it's going to get to from the map. It's going to be back, and I don't think you want to be back at Moonee Valley. So 11 is well set up to win. 11 is well set up to win. Koi Hoi. Peak of its powers, third up mile, drawn nicely, so that could potentially run a race. But nothing for me here, Vince. Absolutely nothing for me in the last. I couldn't suggest anything with too much confidence, which means it's Moonee Valley Cox Plate time.
Let's go across the page to the following day.
Let's get into it, shall we? Race number 1 on Cox Plate Day, or Winks Day, as I'm calling it.
10 past 12.
Taunting is the favourite in this race, and I have... So Michael Hickmott, I actually don't think has trained... I don't know if he's even trained a winner in Victoria recently. I can't remember the last time I cannot remember the last time him training a winner in Victoria. Wow. I was, unflinching, kind of half squibbed it last start, missed it by half a length, and has been freshened up since and had a jump out since. His track and distance credentials are A1. And Jamie Carr, she's going horribly at the moment. She's going terribly.
Why do you think? You got any thoughts on why?
It could be a confidence thing, getting back into the swing of things since her injury, the confidence, her state of mind as well. So, and it's not an easy caper to get back into when you've had such a serious injury and serious fall. So,
she might be struggling a bit physically.
Yeah, maybe. This is a pretty simple ride for her, though. There's no stuffing around here. Get the front.
1,000 metres. You're on the inside.
Just get the front, go straight to the lead, and be hard to run down. So race 1, number 2 for me, unflinching.
I had the same horse. I had number 2.
Yep. So that's that for me. I'm not going to overanalyze that race. The next race is very difficult. This is the 2-year-olds. They're all first starters. There's been a big, big push for number 15, Blue Stratum. Its jump outs were sensational, but I mean, it's there for all to see. I mean, you don't know with a lot of these 2-year-olds, a lot of the trainers don't really like to rev them up for trials or anything like that. So we don't know the true talent of a lot of these horses just yet until they actually get out on race day. I didn't mind the connections of number 9, Chosen Legend, who I think jumped out okay. Zach Purton takes the ride. I think it was about a $440,000 purchase at the sales. So make of it what you will. It's drawn to get
just a bit of loose change for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't dive into this, but these connections are invariably fire up their juvenile horses early in their careers. So it would not surprise me if the 9 ran a huge race and then they sold it off to Hong Kong, which is what happens a lot of the time with these younger horses. So number 9 for me, but no confidence here. I wouldn't be recommending a bet in the second.
Okay. I actually also had the same feelings that, these are all untried horses. It's anyone's guess. It's like, throwing a dart on a dartboard in a dark room. But I do think that the horses drawn inside might get the better runs purely because of the inside barriers. It's
a big thing. It's a massive
15. Thing. Number 15 has drawn 3, so you'd think it would be at an advantage there. I thought also Chosen Legend drawn 2, number 9.
Yep.
And again, as you said, interesting connections. There's a couple of others here I thought purely as a Carlton supporter. Blue Allure.
Yeah.
Number 7. And as you said, Blue Stratum. So there's two blue horses for Carlton supporters to back here.
Yeah. Now,
if you've
the
just got
15,
a bit of loose change.
just so you know, the 15 needs a couple of scratchings to actually get a run because it's third emergency. So it may very well be the case, but again, Blue Allure, likeable connections as well. The same can be said with the 8. So there's some Carlton connections there with the name in the 7. And number 8, Bold Bastille, is actually owned by Aussie Kerr, who's a Leviathan owner and a massive Carlton supporter who's big Aussie Kerr. So
well, this is this number 8?
Yes, Bold Bastille.
Yeah, well, that's the one I actually tipped to win.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I thought it would win, but okay. It was interesting to know. I didn't know the connections of the owner of the horse, but I had 8, 9, 15, and 7 for what it's worth.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Again, another sit and watch race for me just for the time being. If 9 gets out to maybe $7, it might be a play, but nothing for me there. Interesting race number 3, the Tessio. Wishlaw Lass favourite, albeit a drifting one. I'm against her. She was good last start, but I was against her here. Number 1. I'm against her, and I'm going to be backing number 1, number 3. Yep, number 1, number 3, and number 4. So completely against number 2. Thalassophile, every time James McDonald jumps aboard, this horse just grows an extra leg, and his riding numbers down here are sensational. So number 1, Thalassophile, looks like the sniper late, and the 3, Osmos, was first up over the mile last start, and I think she's going to have plenty of improvement to come. So super keen 1 and 3, and something small on the 4 here, Vince. So a little 3-unit play, just because I was against the favourite. So 1, 3, and 4 here.
Yep, I had the 1 as well each way. I thought it was a good each way bet. It's currently $6.50 and $2. So you'll get your money back even if it runs top 3.
You will.
Unless you want to have a bit more for it on the place than the win.
Yes, 1 by 3, something like that.
So, I think that's the way to go. I mean, $2.40 on number 2. It's probably favourite and deserves to be.
She's likeable. She's likeable.
Yeah.
She'll map to lead. Maybe even sit outside the lead. She's fit. She's winning. But I'm just against her. I think this race is I've just got a few question marks over the price as well, just with Waller and Waterhouse and Bott coming here with these 2 horses.
I think they'll be hunting her down late in the 1,600-metre race.
Yeah, they will be. They will be.
She'll be looking for the line with 200 to go, I reckon.
Hopefully she just the last 50 she just curls up in a hole, and the 1 and the 3 run over the top. That'd be nice.
Well, there's good each way odds on all of those. 1, 7, and 4.
That's race number 3. Okay. Race number 4 is intriguing. One that AD and I really liked last start when it won was Shiva. She's a really likeable horse. Inhibitions is the favourite at $3.30. Solitaire is the one that AD really liked as well. Gets blinkers for the first time. Yeah, but it got scratched, and now it's drawn wide again here. And I just... But if you
don't like the barrier
over it, but I can't back her. I don't know where she's going to get to in the run. And the 3, look, its credentials at Moonee Valley are quite solid, but I don't like these Godolphin horses deep into their preparations. They're all fresh horses. Both of her career runs and career wins have come when she was second up, which is fresh. So I'm just querying that. I think.
And another one that got scratched in this race that AD liked last time was Gundrops.
Yes.
What do you think of its chances? Number 14, right down the bottom.
Not for me here. No. She's too short now. $12. I am. If you like her, back her. But I'm not in the camp this week, just from a price perspective, and I'm not going to be backing anything in this race, Finn. So I reckon we can move on pretty quickly.
Look, again, I had Inhibitions in one of my better bets of the week last week, and it ran 5th. I wasn't all that impressed with it. So, I mean, whether she deserves to be favourite or not, I don't know.
I'm not. Look, I mean, what she's done to date, her career runs to date have been strong. She comes out of strong form lines with regards to the actual races she's contesting because of their allure and their height and what those type of races have thrown up in the past. But it's based off the setup for this race. I'm not.
I think I'd rather almost go each way on the 5 Shiva.
Yeah. That could be. Yeah, she's a really good horse. She's a really, really good horse. But yeah, nothing for me in this one, Vince. I'm not
okay.
Anything. Super keen on one in the next year. Crystal Mile, race 5, number 1, Tuvalu. I think he's an absolute Monty in this race, Vince. I think he is a fantastic horse. He's number 1 in a weight for age here. He's had a nice little freshen up from a brutal run in the Underwood Stakes behind Alligator Blood. It's the best form in the race. He's a weight for age horse, and Tino is not that yet.
Yes.
He's come out of handicap races, and he came out of the handicap race, the Toorak handicap 2 weeks ago, which was really, really solidly run. Track work was really nice on Tuesday, but I'm all over Tuvalu here. I think he's the one to be with here. I really, really like him. He's actually going to be my best of the day at Moonee Valley. Small field, I reckon he'll go straight to the front. Jamie Carr can control it and skip away on the bend and say, see you later.
Yeah, drawn 2 as well. Nice inside gate. Yeah, I think Antino's carrying a lot more weight than what he did in the Toorak, where he came second.
Weight for age, it's a completely different setup and scenario.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. A big watch, I think, on number 6, Prowess as well.
Yes.
Mark Zara riding. Very good form again. Came second after a spell. But yeah, I'll take your word on number 1.
Yep, like it. Race 5, number 1. It's the best bet of the day for me, Tuvalu. I think he's flying. Okay. Yeah, I think he's absolutely flying. Interesting race, the Phillies Classic, race number 6. Skybird has been truckloaded in betting. His 2 wins to date have been pretty stylish, but now he has to make the step up to Metro grade. And yeah, I think he can. I think she can. But I think she is well found right now. She could just round them up and donkey lick them here. But there's one I didn't mind, and she was beaten almost out of sight last start at Flemington in the Edward Manifold. I wouldn't worry too much about that because she's been drawn terribly her first 2 runs this preparation. Yeah. And now she's ready to rock and roll 3rd up mile. Perfect, number 3. Perfect.
Yes, the Rodney Dangerfield horse.
Perfect.
Yep.
She started short in the market first up, and she started short enough second up. And I don't think she's been suited by either the tempo nor the barrier. I think she's ready to rock and roll here. So I think she's going to sit much closer to the speed from the inside gate. Zara will want to use it up. He's an aggressive rider. He'll get out.
Yeah.
And I think she's over the odds here. She's going better than I think her form suggests.
Yep.
And I'm happy to be with her each way. Race 6, number 9, Perfect.
Yes, I agree. I think she's a good each way bet as well. I'd identified her as a value bet. Mind you, I assumed wrongly, obviously, that you'd be going for number 10, considering your vocation. Broadcaster.
Very well done.
But consistent broadcaster without winning a lot, and too short for me, $5.50.
Yeah.
But well drawn in gate 3. I also thought number 2, Aprilia, had a bit of an each way chance. Number 2, with Damien Oliver. If you like one further up the order.
Yep.
But they're the ones for me. Numbers 2 and 9 each way.
Yeah, I think double figure odds and around the each way bet is what you want to play in these races. 8's a really talented horse. Looks a really talented horse. I think could really be a group horse going forward. But I just want to see it first. That's the
fair enough.
And at that price, I was happier to take the 9 at this point in time. So race 6, number 9 each way for me. Perfect. Race 7. This is a lead up to the Derby. Vedad is the favourite, $1.90. Aerosol Blinkers first time, $6. Sunsource $6. Apulia is $6.50 and double figures for the rest. Vedad for me here, Vince. We don't get any prizes. It's $1.90. He's the best horse in the race. He's going sensationally well. He was brilliant in the Guineas despite running 6. I loved his run. Don't back him here. Back him for the Derby if you're interested.
You get better odds.
Yeah, if he wins this comfortably, as I expect him to, I think his price, or he's not. I know his price will be slashed for the Derby. So if you like him here, you're best off backing him for the Derby, because if he wins this race, he's a live ticket in the Victoria Derby in a fortnight's time. So that's what I would suggest doing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't back him here. Back him to win the Derby.
Can you see anything causing an upset here? Because I thought Verdad as well, but I mean, skinny odds.
Number 2, Air Assault, Blinker's first time, could be the one. Has had a nice base to get himself up to 2,040 meters. And he could be the one to maybe challenge the favorite. He maps nicely, maps ahead of him. He maps to actually either lead or sit outside the lead in this race. But I think the 3 Verdad's got a beautiful profile here to run really well. So, I'm very, very keen on the 3 from a Derby perspective, and that's how I'll be playing it. Don't bet here. Back him to win the Derby. That's my suggestion.
Right.
Intriguing Manikato Stakes this year. It's a very, very small field. It's been
I wonder why. Why so small?
Decimated by the Everest. Prize money, Vince. Prize money. Prize money pays the bills, mate, not honour and glory. That's it's an old. It's rung true for a long.
Can I ask you a question? Have you ever seen videos of Manikato winning races?
I have. Absolutely.
My God, what a champion horse!
Champion. Yep.
I'll never forget as a young boy starting to watch races. This horse was just amazing, unbelievable.
He did it all.
Unmistakable colours too, with the pink and white.
Yep. No, he
and,
was
Gary Willits.
Gary. I remember
most of it's.
I do remember the call of Manikato winning this particular race. You could tell Bill Collins was on it. It was they were coming around that go for home. Gary is into the straight. Manikato a half length to Watney, followed by Yurtis and then Silver Bounty. Manikato is drawn a half length, 3/4 in front. He's got it 1, 4 in a row. The old man's back. Manikato goes on a win by 2 lengths.
And Bill Collins, get in the queue. You've got the cash.
I reckon he might have had a decent whack on it back then, the accurate one.
I think so.
Yeah, what a champion horse he was. We have a champion horse lining up in this race, Vince, in the form
I can't go past it. I can't go past it.
How can you? Her form is impeccable. She's an absolute star of the racetrack. And she absolutely loves Moonee Valley. Her track work was immaculate on Tuesday. She just does it under her own steam, and
she's up against all the boys. So, are there any of the boys that could potentially bully her out of the winning stall?
There is one. There is one. There is one. I am going to.
Is it number 2, number 3, or number 7?
Number 2, Buenos Noches.
Yes, I thought so too.
Buenos Noches. The reason for it is because he's been running around in decent Group 1 races and hasn't really been able to get look. Mind you, that was as a 3-year-old. But I thought his run in the Everest was actually quite good, and I actually think that's the best sprinting form in Australia at the moment. And he's had his platform run at 1,200 meters.
Yes,
Imperatrice has not. So I know she's had 2,000-meter runs to get her ready for this. So if she was first up 1,000 meters and then went second up 1,200 meters, I would have been heavily against her. But she does have a platform to potentially make the step up and not be flat. But $1.45, not for me. Not for me. Number 2, Vince, Buenos Noches to knock her off.
Each way?
Yep. Now we have to run second to get a collect because there's no third dividend. But I think he's the clear second pick.
But if you think he's a clear second pick, you're going to get to $2.60 to place.
Exactly.
I mean, if there was an 8th horse, we'd probably be getting $1.50 for the place.
I've got to back him each way here, Vince. Race 8, number 2, Buenos Noches. To knock off Imperatrice. I'll look like a genius if it's the case, and I'll look like an absolute deal.
So is this a bet that you're suggesting to our viewers?
It is, each way.
Right.
Buenos Noches. Okay. Yeah, I think it can run really well. Yep. Just because he's got the platform at 1,200 meters, whereas Imperatrice doesn't yet. So
put it this way: if you really want to be super safe and make sure you get a return, you back him for the place. and you're getting $2.60 for the place as opposed to Imperatrice paying $1.45, and you've actually got to win the damn race.
Exactly right.
So otherwise, if you'd like to take a win collect as well, at least the $2.60 will get you back your money plus a little bit more.
Brings a bit of different form to the race too, which I really like. So that was me in the Manicato Stakes. So
look, I thought the same thing. I thought the six. Sorry, I thought the 6 would win, but my suggestion was going to be on the 2 as well, just each way.
Bonus not just for me each way. Number 2. Okay, let's get on to the feature race.
For all of our Spanish friends.
Good night.
Exactly.
This is what we're here for. It's the Cox Plate 2023. This is probably one of the best editions I've seen of it in my lifetime, in my punting life. And
it's going to be a great contest.
Oh, is it ever? Romantic Warrior, the favourite at $4. I think he's clearly a starting point. He was favourite in the Turnbull and was a little bit flat, maybe entitled to finish a bit closer, but he's the one a lot of punters are going to like. Alligator Blood, we know the story surrounding him. He's been sensational his last 2 starts at Caulfield, winning the Underwood and the Might and Power. We've got Militarize, who's this crackpot 3-year-old who's a 3-time Group 1 winner. He gets down in the weights, obviously, at weight for age, only carries a 49.5. Mr. Brightside, who's a champion. Gold Trip, who's a champion. Fangirl, who smashed Mr. Brightside last start. We've got a horse called Victoria Road with Aidan O'Brien coming out.
Very interesting runner. Interesting runner, Victoria Road.
Where do we look? Zaki, who's an old boy, who's probably going to roll to the lead and maybe get his way out in front alongside Alligator Blood. I'll start with you, Vince. Where did you land here?
Look, he came through for me last time I tipped him on this show. So I'm going to stick with him, and I think this could be the one race that really, I guess, tops it off in his career, and it's number 4, Alligator Blood for me. I think he can do it. It's going to be the biggest challenge he's ever had, but I think he's up to it. He's in great form.
Yes.
He has won over the 2,000 metres before. He's good each way odds. You can still get each way on him at the moment.
Yep.
Purely because of the favourite Romantic Warrior in front of him in the market, but I think this is the race for Alligator Blood. This will be the one that signifies him as the champion that I think he is.
Love it.
To beat number 1 Romantic Warrior, who I think's been primed for a race like this.
Yes, of course.
I think Gold Trip number 5 will be storming home down the outside as he usually does. Probably find the trip a little short for what he's building up to.
Well said.
But geez, it also wouldn't surprise me if he comes over the top of them and knocks them all off as well. And Gold Trip's excellent each way odds at $8 and $2.60 at the moment. And I thought number 3, Mr. Brightside, who again is excellent each way odds, and I think could easily win this race. Top class horse, hasn't won over the distance, but is building up to a race like this. And I'm leaving out 2 or 3 others. Fangirl is another one that could win.
Yes.
A Militarized is probably
great
the best
race.
Of the best of the 3-year-olds.
It's a great race.
Best of the 3-year-old colts. But also number 10, I'll be very interested to watch how this one goes. Victoria Road. Blake Shin riding for Aidan O'Brien. They haven't come over here to lose.
No.
It wouldn't surprise me if a horse like this did something as a bit of a surprise. But look, the race is full of great quality horses, and anything could win. But my numbers, for what it's worth: 4 Alligator Blood to beat 1 Romantic Warrior, 5 Gold Trip, and 3 Mr. Brightside.
Love it. Okay, my numbers for this race and the way I've assessed it, I've narrowed it down to 2 horses. Mr. Brightside, I think will win the Cox Plate. I think he is absolutely ready to peak. Wouldn't even worry about his run last start. He had a gap in between runs. He had a trial which he scorched along in, which might have left him a touch flat, but I reckon the Hayes boys knew what they were doing with it. And I think from barrier 2, he's going to score up, get a beautiful run in transit, and he just needs the gaps to open up. And if they do, I think he's going to explode. I really, really like him here, Mr. Brightside.
Okay.
He's running the Cox Plate last year. And I know people are going to look at the form and say, the query is 2,000. He's a miler, but he's running the Cox Plate last year was big. He was really
big run
last year on a heavy track. So,
it
was a rain affected track. And he might not have just had the strength in him to really run a top Cox Plate for the first time in his career. Second time coming now, he's well established. He's absolutely flying, and there's absolutely no reason to hop off him each way. The other one I liked, super keen on, is number 11, Militarize. The right breeding, the right connections, the right barrier, 49.5 kilos. They're going to be a lot more positive than they were in the Caulfield Guineas. And this was a typical Chris Waller setup. Big race surge last start. Had to make its run and loop around the field from an impossible position, and he stormed through the line. And I reckon it is a perfect fitness base and a perfect setup to run really well in this Cox Plate. So 3 and 11 for me. Very, 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 very keen on Mr. Brightside and Militarize. I'll be backing both to win a fair bit.
Okay. So you don't think Romantic Warrior is going to be in the finish here?
Yeah, look, top 5 chance, obviously.
What are your third and fourth?
Third and fourth, 4 Alligator Blood and 5 Gold Trip, who, like you said, I think will be flying home late. But, just a map query for the 5 and a price query for the 1 Romantic Warrior. Top 5 chance Romantic Warrior, but I couldn't take $4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the starting point, but not worth a bet for me anyway.
Well, very good each way odds for Mr. Brightside, 750 and 250 on fixed odds at the moment. So let's hope it comes through for you, Paul.
Yep. Mr. Brightside and Militarize for me. Super keen on both. But yeah, if I had to absolutely pick one, I'd be with Mr. Brightside. But I'm going to be on both, like the fair bit. So that's
one other little interesting thing. You know how I pick out these little idiosyncrasies that I've just noticed that Chris Waller's got the 2 horses in this race, and they're both ridden by jockeys with the name Zach. Lloyd and Purton. And I reckon if he had a third horse in the race, he'd be putting Zach Spain on it. So anyway, he must like Zach's for some reason.
Or maybe it's just coincidence. I don't know.
Unfortunately for me, I can't make a Zach on either of them. Let's go to race 10.
We shall.
More of my dad jokes later.
Final race. Schwartz is the favourite, $3.60. Again, Rosemont just continues to bring these horses to the races with football names. That's what they've done with a lot of these horses. Yeah,
yes,
Anthony
hello to David if you're watching.
Barber and Mahaba up the top of the weights. Archo Nacho. I like Barber with the blinkers first time, but tough race this one. There's form lines coming from different areas of the country, and they're all mashing together to make a Frocketer blender, which doesn't taste nice and doesn't look nice, and that's why I'm going to stay out.
This is the get out stakes for all the punters who have done their dollars on the Cox Plate and all the other races beforehand.
Yep.
So something's going to get shortened into $2. It did last week. You know how I said last week that the favourite number 2 was going to be shortening into close to even money. Vivienne. Yeah. Well, guess what? She started nearly even money. I think it was $2.10.
Yep.
And she got rolled.
She did get rolled.
So I don't know why the get out stakes is as popular as it is in terms of betting favourites, but I reckon you're better off to go for something with a bit of value. But look, I didn't really have anything that I'm super keen on in this race. If I was to have a bet, it'd probably be on the top weight Barber each way, $6.50. But nothing much on it. Maybe
I was
couple of shekels each way.
I was nothing for me here. Maybe the 2 Mahaba, but I did nothing for me. There's just too many different form lines coming from too many different spots, and I just don't know how to. I don't know how to line them up, Vince, and I'm not even going to bother having a play in this race. Look, again, if Barber gets out to ridiculous odds, he might be worth a play. But no, I'm just intrigued to see how he goes with the blinkers for the first time. So that was that was more the thing that piqued my interest.
No problem.
So All right, mate. That's Moonee Valley. Both meetings
right.
done and dusted, mate.
Beautiful.
So just to reiterate, I'll go through my best bets again.
Yeah, let's do them now.
Yeah, so for Friday night tonight at Moonee Valley, my best bets are going to be, I'll tell you what they're going to be. Race 1, number 3, Croatian Bell, super keen each way. And I am keen on race number 6, 2-horse play, number 3, Forgot You, and number 8, Red Sun Sensation. And that will pretty much do it for me on Friday night. And tomorrow, Cox Plate Day. The ones I liked on the day, again, for the main race, very, very keen, Mr. Brightside Militarize. I think Unflinching will win the first. I think it'll go straight to the front and be hard to run down. And then a 3-horse play in race number 3, Thalassophile, Osmos, and En Francais or En Francais. So 1, 3, and 4 in race number 3. And I reckon the best bet of the day at Moonee Valley is going to be race 5, number 1, Tuvalu. Launch job for me. Race 5, number 1, Tuvalu. So that's that.
Okay,
let's get on to harness racing, Vince. Your area, unless you've got your best.
I was just going to say, just to give you my best at the Valley for Friday night. Is in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, race 7, number 3, Vow and Declare. I really liked the way that horse went last time, and I think he'll back up and win this race. With a big watch on the 14, of course. And again, with Saturday, Moonee Valley Cox Plate Day, again, I'm going to make Alligator Blood my special, number 4.
Love it.
So,
love it.
That's probably more on my admiration for the horse and what it's done in the past. So I'm hoping that it gets its just desserts. Okay.
Absolutely no knock. All right, let's get into it. Harness racing. Bang. Let's start Gloucester Park Friday night.
Correct. Tonight.
Race number 5, are we?
We're looking at race number 5, which is the feature race on the program, the JP Stratton Cup.
Love it.
Group 2 race worth $100,000. And I tipped you this horse last time the Western Australian Pacing Cup was on.
You did.
And it had the same barrier. And I said, I think it'll win. And it won. And it's the same horse again and the same barrier. Diego, number 1. It is the favourite, but I do believe it'll win.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's the one that you were thinking.
It is the one I was thinking of.
I thought you would.
As soon as I saw the 1 pole, I'm like, yes. Hurry up, let's get to this race.
There's another very, very good horse drawn right outside the front row who's just coming back after a spell, having gone to Queensland to compete against some of the country's best horses up there. Magnificent Storm. It'll probably have to race in the death. And coming back from the spell, I think it'll probably need the run. So I'm going to leave it out of my calculations. But it's not a knock on the horse. I just think it'll need the run and drawn poorly. So I'm leaving it out of my top 4. It'll probably come around them and sit in the death, but I think it'll probably be found wanting in the last 200 or 300 metres. So I'm going for number 1 to beat number 10 himself, which is drawn right behind it. Number 8, Tenzing Bromac, which is a very good horse on the rise, drawn poorly here. Wouldn't be $9 and $2.40 if it was drawn in the first 2 or 3. But certainly a horse on the rise. And finishing off with number 4, Steal the Show, Denny Roberts on the other Bond horse. So 1, 10, 8, and 4 for me. I think the 2 other hall runners, 11 and 12, are just drawn poorly on the back row. Could fill a place, but my suggested bet here is simply for the 1 to win. And if you'd like to have something a bit more exotic than that, go for numbers 1 to win from numbers 8, 10, and 4, 8, and 10 for second. And field for third if it's a trifecta. And field for third and fourth, and I reckon you'll get some value.
Okay, like it. All right, beautiful. All right, let's get on to Globe Derby Saturday night, shall we? SA Pacing Cup final. It's their feature race. Where's the gold?
Big meeting tomorrow. Yes, Globe Derby. This is the biggest race of the year for them. The South Australian Pacing Cup final is number 6. Now, unfortunately, because of the random barrier draw, we've got the favourite drawn 1, which really makes it a very short favourite, $1.55 for Where's the Gold. I do think it'll probably win the race, although it'll get some competition. And I'm not suggesting that you bet on it because I think it's way too short at $1.55. What I'd rather do is have a little bit each way on number 9. Platinum Stride was a huge winner in its heat. And even though it's drawn second row, you're getting $10 and $2.30 at the moment. So I reckon number 9 each way would be the better bet rather than backing the 1 for the win. Okay. So that's my suggestion there. If you want something else as well with a bit of value, number 7, drawn right behind the 1, Sahara Tiger. And I noticed that the Sanderson stable, who've got 3 in the race, this one's drawn right behind the favourite and has put Anthony Butt, champion driver Anthony Butt, on the horse. So at $23 and $3.90, again, my suggestion, a little bit each way on number 7 as well as number 9. So that's what I'll be doing, a little bit each way on both of them.
Love it. All right, beautiful. All right, Derby pace or the Derby pacing final, 20 for 2023. Our Vinny. Here we go. Our Vinny.
How can you go past the horse called Our Vinny, really? Number 9. It's $1.45, mind you. It's $1.45. I don't like the price at all, but I do think it'll win. Number 9, trained by Emma Stewart. She sent a few over there and normally gets into the money at Globe Derby in most of her races. I noticed one of her horses came a gutser last week, Paul, $1.20 favourite, like a wildfire. And I don't know what happened to it, but it just fell, coming down the home straight, not down the home straight, down the back for the last time, about 400 metres. You there?
Yeah, I've got you.
Oh, what have I done here? Hang on.
No. It's all right. Oh, yeah, it's just cut off there. Hold on. You got a call coming through, do you?
Sorry.
Right.
Am I back?
Yeah, there we go. You're back.
I'm back. Sorry about
that. You just went out like the Emma Stewart horse.
Yeah, exactly. Like a wildfire, and all of a sudden just dropped out for no foreseeable reason after the race. Nothing irregular found. So I don't know what happened there, but $1.20 favourite drawn 2 and didn't win. But anyway, so like a wildfire is not in this race. Not in the Pacing Cup. This is the Derby. I do believe that our Vinny will win number 9. I've put in number 6, Life is But a Dream. Won very, very impressively its last 2 starts. Great each way odds. Unfortunately drawn outside the front row, not the ideal draw for him, $16 and $2.70. But, it's if it can get a little bit of luck, be right in the finish. And number 5, Little Louis, bit disappointing last start, should run better this time in. And number 1, He's All Talk from the barrier. It will give you a great sight at $19 and $3 the place if you want to back him each way. So 9 to beat 6, 5 and 1. Again, if you want to take the shorts on our Vinny, go for your life. I think Life is But a Dream each way will give you a great sight, number 6.
Okay, like it. All right, let's get on to the final race for Globe Derby. We'll skip through this. The Trotters Cup final. He's All Muscle, $2.30. Might be named after me.
He's named after you.
Might be.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've got more muscle than I have. I'll tell you what, Paul, this is going to be a really interesting race. I'm not on the favourite here.
Yep. Oh, you guessed.
Okay. I'm going
for
some better value down the list that I think are fantastic each way odds at the moment. And my tip for the race, and my best bet of the night, number 11, Travel Bug. Okay. Now, notice that James Herbertson's gone over there. I've seen
one of your favourites.
I've seen James win on this horse at another Trotters Cup meeting here in Country Victoria. Off the 30 metres, all the best horses are here off the 20 and 30 metres.
Yep.
I think Travel Bug will win. It's great each way odds at $8 and $2.20. That's the one I'll be backing. Number 12, Anywhere Hugo, is what I'm tipping to run second.
Yep.
Good win in its heat. I think Travel Bug can turn the tables here. I'll put in number 7, He's All Muscle, to come third from the 20-metre handicap. And number 8, Blue Coman, which you can't miss because of its grey colour. It's a grey horse, and I think it will come in fourth, number 8. There's a couple of others further up there that are short odds. I'm not sure why. I don't think they're quite up to the same standard as these ones down the bottom. So my tips are 11, 12, 7, and 8.
Love
for
it.
The Trotters Cup.
Yep, love it. Okay, let's go on to Melton before we get to New Zealand. We haven't got any fixed odds out at the moment for anything aside from race number 2. So I reckon that might just be the race we look at. Catch a Wave, $1.28. Best horse in the race, obviously, but I don't like the odds, man. The run last start behind Act Now, that was that bunch finish there in the what was the race? Victoria Cup.
Well, it came second in the Victoria Cup. It was a great run after it had disappointed in its previous couple. And started
he had to make 2 runs in this race, Vince. Yeah, remember he was caught out wide at the start and then had to go back and then made another run too. So
he was initially 3 wide, had to snag back to the tail. And then make another run towards the end. It was a huge run, really. Hard to go past it. I don't think it's good odds, $1.28. No, thanks, not for me. And look, the one I'd be going for here, a little bit each way, is number 10, my favourite, Bulletproof Boy.
Nice.
I think at $11 and $2.30, he'll be rattling home, and he'll give you a great sight and at least make a place, I think. Yes, so even though I think Catch a Wave will win, I think Bulletproof Boy will come in second. So my numbers are 9, 10, 4, Curly James, which should lead, and number 7, Haliver, which is in also very good form as well, last start winner. And they're my numbers, 9, 10, 4, and 7. And by the way, I know we haven't got the odds yet, but in race 4, that's the other really big feature race on the program, the Angelique Club Pace. We see the return of this fantastic rivalry between Ladies in Red, Tough Tilly, Treachery, Petulante, and now Rakiro Rebels joined the ranks. What's really interesting about this race, Paul, is you've got 8 runners. 6 of them are trained by Emma Stewart, and the other 2 by Greg Sugars and Jess Tubbs. So
head to head,
it'll be very interesting to see what happens here. But look, Ladies in Red, I did predict this at the last start. Was drawn on the second line, first run back for a fairly long time, and just was found wanting in the last 100 metres or so. Came second. This horse has never missed a place. I think she'll win this time, though.
Okay.
Can't go past number 8.
These are all the girls going up against each other, isn't it?
Yeah, all the girls.
Yep.
8 Ladies in Red to beat, 4 Treachery, 5 Tough Tilly, and 7 Rakiro Rebel for me.
Like it. All right. Lovely. All right. So that's Melton. Let's quickly skedaddle along to Maryborough, and then we'll finish up with New Zealand.
Now, Maryborough's on Sunday.
Yep. Redwood Classic, High Step for Greg Sugars. And is this Mark Purdon who's come over here with this horse? I think it is.
High Step, yes.
$1.60 favourite. Does it win?
Look, it disappointed at its last start. And I thought, I didn't like the way it finished off the race. I think it can turn the tables. But look, to be honest, I don't like the odds. I think it'll win, but I don't like the odds, Paul.
Yep.
It's one of those ones where I'd say, it's probably on paper going to win, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if even a horse like the one I put to challenge it, Kai Valley Michael, with Chris Alford. And also Ewing, which is in very good form, number 7. They could very easily challenge this horse. And number 2, Mary's Mac, also gets a good draw. So I'm putting it into win, but not with a lot of confidence. Certainly not at the odds that I think it'll start. 6 to beat 5, 7, and 2. But if I was going to have a bet in the race, it would probably be each way number 7, Ewing. I think it's in really good form.
Yeah. Like it. Like it. Anything else you wanted to hit at Maryborough?
And number 8
New Zealand?
is the race 8 is the Group 1 race on the program, the Victoria Trotters Derby final or Derby final. This was the only race that they don't run on Victoria Cup night because it's a trot race that they have at Maryborough every year.
Mm-hmm.
So this again is full of excellent horses. Now you'll probably see that number 2, London to a Brick, will start favourite.
Yep.
I'm not tipping it to win.
Okay.
It's drawn better. And look, may very well win, but I believe that the Locomotive number 9 is in scintillating form, and I think will win.
Okay.
So that's my tip. Number 9, the Locomotive, you'll get really good odds.
Yep.
To beat number 2, London to a Brick. She's Ruby Roo, also drawn really well and in really good form, to come third. And number 5, Love Me Too, to finish in 4th position. And you'll notice that the trainer there, or one of the 2 trainers, is former thoroughbred trainer Graham Rogerson.
There you go.
Who's based over in New Zealand, and he's been training.
Okay, so he's got into harness racing now.
He's going into harness racing over there in New Zealand.
Right, there we go. Okay.
So there you go. Something a bit interesting.
Beautiful. All right. Now, before we wrap up this show and wrap up the whole harness segment here, now you've got a very left of field meeting that you wanted to touch on it on is it Monday? They're racing
on Monday afternoon. It happens every year, a couple of weeks before the biggest race in New Zealand, of course, which is the New Zealand Trotting Cup. Now,
where are they?
They call it the New Zealand Trotting Cup, but it's actually for pacers.
Right.
And that's the second Tuesday of November every year. So, as you know, we've got the Melbourne Cup first Tuesday of every November. This is the following Tuesday. And in the lead up to that, there's this big meeting at a place called Kaikoura.
Kaikoura. Okay.
Kaikoura. Or as they say over there in Maori, Kaikoura. And it's famous for its lobsters. And I think they've even got a big, one of those big lobsters out there. Those
have you been?
Like the big pineapple in Queensland. That sort of thing.
Have you been?
I have actually been. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Fabulous place, right on the water. Absolutely unbelievable views out there, and the track. If you watch it on Sky Channel, seriously, you think you're somewhere totally exotic, and the track is right on the water. If you know what I mean, right near the water. And when the cameras, if you like, hone in on the runners around the back straight, you'll think that they're running on top of the water. That's how it looks. It's unbelievable. But very, very picturesque place, and one of my favourite meetings of the year. And this is a lead up to the New Zealand Trotting Cup in a couple of weeks from now. So on Monday, there's a huge program, but the main races are races 7, 8, and 9. Being the South Bay.
Oh, we got you, mate.
Yeah, we had a call come through.
We got you cut off at the main races are.
The main races are race 7, which is the South Bay Trotters Cup.
Yep.
And race 8 is the Kaikoura Pacing Cup. Then you've got the New Zealand Standard Bred Sales Series Age Classic, which is race 9. I'm not going to bother going into that one, but the Trotters Cup and the Pacing Cup is what we'll be covering here.
Yep.
So Kaikoura, race 7 is the South Bay Trotters Cup worth $40,000, Group 3 race. Some of the best trotters that go around in New Zealand are here. The only horse I think that will that's off a handicap, I think he'll be the winner. Oscar Bonavina, number 9.
Mm-hmm.
He's off a 15-metre handicap in a race that's 2,400 metres, and I think should be too good for these.
Right.
So number 9 is my tip to beat number 1, Artie by the Hill.
Yep.
Driven by John Dunn. Number 6, I Dream of Jeannie. You remember that show?
Yeah. Very popular back in the day.
So, I'm putting that in for 3rd. And number 8, Harold Smith, in for 4th. But I really do like Oscar Bonavina. I think he should prove too classy for these.
Love it. Okay, like it. And what's
number
the other
8
race we're covering? Yep.
Number 8, the Kaikoura Cup or Pacing Cup, Group 2, worth $60,000. again, we're going to see some horses here go around in the New Zealand Trotting Cup in a couple of weeks from then. And this horse is in scintillating form at the moment. It's in fact, again, both of the Purdon horses have drawn 1 and 2. It almost sort of makes it impossible for anything else to really get into the race. Self-Assured's a proven champion, number 1. But this thing here has just come onto the scene and taken all before it. Number 2, Acuta. It won at Ashburton on Monday in the Ashburton Flying Stakes. Self-Assured finished 4th. I would have liked to see it a bit closer. It'll get the help of a very soft draw here in the inside gate, but I do think Acuta's in better form, and I think will win. Number 2 to beat number 1, Self-Assured. I've put in number 6, Old Town Road, which is a horse that came across last year over the Victoria and competed in our biggest races over here, like the Hunter Cup. He's a horse that could easily come down the outside and snatch it. And number 10, Smithy's Terror for the Dunn stable, I've put in for 4th. There's a few others that have got a chance. Kango competed recently over here without much luck in the Kilmore Pacing Cup and the Maryborough Pacing Cup. Has gone back home to compete in this, but drawn poorly in gate 12 right down the bottom. So I don't think we'll be in the finish. So my numbers are 2, 1, 6 and 10. Acuta, absolutely good thing, I would have thought. And, of course, in the Trotters Cup, we had Oscar Bonavina, which I think is also a really good bet. Now, they'll probably both start favourites, but I do think that they'll win.
Okay, beautiful. Maybe we can take a double.
Maybe a multi,
like that. Yeah, it could be a multi.
Yeah, double, yeah.
Just to sum that up, Diego for me is going to be my absolute best Gloucester Park tonight. So this will be up. That'll add to the kitty for the weekend. So that's the one I was really, really keen on.
Yes, and that's my best bet at Gloucester Park tonight as well.
Beautiful.
And I think Ladies in Red should come back to the winners' circle at Melton on Saturday night as well.
Beautiful. All right. Very good. That's done, mate. Episode 4, Hands and Heels.
Huge.
We've covered plenty.
Hopefully we'll tip you into a few winners out there.
Fingers crossed.
I'd love to see some more comments come through. If you're watching the show, mate, send us a comment.
Like, subscribe. Here we go. We're back to the jumper punch now. Like, subscribe, comment, become a member as well. Become a member. So this is one of the biggest weekends, if not the biggest weekend on the racing calendar from a thoroughbred perspective. Moonee Valley is going to be absolutely jamming. Crowds are back up and about as well. So I'll be covering the first night at Cox Plate weekend for SEN track tonight, which is going to be an absolute ball.
Are you going to be on track? Are you going to be on the track?
No, we'll be in the studio. We'll be in the studio. Okay. I'll be with Sammy Highland, the great Sammy Highland. So him and I will be on air, which will be great fun. So, yeah.
What about Saturday? Are you going to be at the Cox Plate Day?
No, I won't be. No, I'll be watching it from the comfort of my home, sir, because I just feel that that's the best way to do it.
That's fair enough too. Yeah. Well, you can't beat the coverage on TV, can you?
No. So it's going to be
a
cracking weekend, and on SEN too. So have the vision up, but have SEN on your app up as well, or on your radio too. So.
Absolutely.
It's a huge weekend as we prepare for the Flemington Carnival, which comes up after Cox Plate weekend.
Well, I was just going to say, the following week, it doesn't get any less. I mean, we've got the Victoria Derby and
huge.
We're probably going to have to do 3 or 4 of these shows before each of those main days.
Prepare those.
Maybe on the Monday before Cup Day, maybe another one on the Wednesday before Oaks Day.
Prepare your voice box and prepare your form guides as well. So it's going to be a big couple of weeks coming up, and we can't wait, mate. It's going to be the best, and hopefully we can make some cash along the way too, which is always nice.
Fun time of the year, that's for sure.
Exactly. Vince, pleasure. Hopefully AD should be back with us next week, should time permit.
Yep.
But always a pleasure, never a chore. Good luck with your tips and your bets this weekend. Good luck to everyone this weekend as well. Again, like, comment, subscribe. If you've got any tips, leave them in either the live chat or
we'd love to know what you think is going to win
section.
on each of these races.
No, we've had some, I think, dynamic black ears come through the chat. We had a name by the name of Rat Suicide, something like that has popped.
Yes, yeah.
It's been a big
one.
rap for you too.
And can I just add one little comment? Any of you animal liberationists out there, just save your breath. Don't even bother sending a comment.
Yeah, it's not, because they're just going to be flagged and we're just going to delete them. So there's just no point. There's no point. So.
But we hope that you all get into the spirit of the Spring Carnival, and it's a great time of the year, great exciting racing, and the best horses are here and they're all competing, and it's a great time.
It is indeed. Vince, pleasure, mate. We'll be back to do it next week. Hooroo, guys.